Jeremy Clarkson, the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, has admitted that he, Richard Hammond, and James May had to pay Top Gear's members of the audience from their own pockets to persuade people to stay watching the recording of the BBC show. Jeremy Clarkson, 60, has opened up about the early days of Top Gear and spoke out about the time when he and his co-hosts James May, 57, and Richard Hammond, 50, were forced to pay members of the audience to persuade them to stay to watch the recording of the BBC show. The Grand Tour host revealed how their viewers would leave as they were bored. It comes as Jeremy was questioned by George Nicole on his new podcast The Drive-Thru about his time presenting Top Gear alongside James and Richard from 2002. George mentioned, "You roped in Richard Hammond, and then James May the next year. You guys obviously go on to be one of the most infamous trios on British TV. What was it about you three that clicked?" To which Jeremy divulged, "Well, one of the very fortunate things as well when we first began was very few people were watching, not just in the studio, we were having to pay, and this is out of our own pockets. We'd get a studio audience of probably, I don't know, 30 people," he admitted. "And by the end of a recording, we probably were down to 10. They'd just leave. They were bored." Jeremy went on to share what they had to do when people started to leave. The presenter explained, "And then we were having to pay out of our own pockets for them to stay. Here's a tenner. Please just stay in the back of shot, please don't go." He continued to mimic one of their typical responses by adding, "Oh, we've got to go home, we've got kids. £50. Please don't go." Jeremy commented, "The TV star confessed, we were battling and nobody was watching on television either, really, in the first couple of years." Later on in the episode, Jeremy addressed how their production meetings for Top Gear became tricky. The journalist discussed, "You have production meetings. James sits playing Sudoku on his phone, and then everybody else lobs ideas around. What shall we do, because you're having to do 3 or 4 films per week. In the early days, it was dead easy thinking of madcap ideas. Let's see if we can build better ambulances, let's see if we can make a car that will drive across the channel, or let's see if we can make a car into a train," Jeremy added, "and so, the production meetings became more tricky."